Welcome to Cat and Jess Talk the Best, where we're going to be talking about IMDb's top 250 movies from April 12th, 2018. My name is Kat.
And I'm Jess.
And today we're talking about number 233, The Bourne Ultimatum, which is the third of 5 Bourne films. It's an action mystery thriller from 2007. It's an 8.0 on 566,006 votes. And the spoiler-free synopsis: a former CIA assassin continues his quest to fill in memory gaps. When a Guardian reporter stumbles onto his trail, the man spies his chance to blow the Blackbriar Black Ops Brigade. Wow, this is a tongue twister.
Sounded like it.
Wide open. With some very powerful people intent on keeping their skeletons buried, he is in more danger than ever before as his former paymasters send a series of elite killers after their reformed ex-colleagues.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, so the director is Paul Greengrass. He did the second of the Bourne films also, with Bourne Supremacy. He's done United 93 and Captain Phillips. And your main actors, the top 3 top billings are Matt Damon, Edgar Ramirez, and Joan Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
None of them really looked familiar except for Matt Damon.
Well, I mean, he's Bourne, so he's gotta be in them.
Yeah. Alright, so Rotten Tomatoes, the average rating is an 8. It's 93% on 263 critical reviews, 244 fresh, and 19 rotten. 2 of the fresh, Tom Charity said, Bourne, or whatever his name really is such a resourceful and reckless agent of chaos. We thrill to him despite the fact that he is officially a non-entity.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And then another fresh one, Ben Walters. While the crunchy fights and unflagging pace ensure this delivers a genre spectacle, the muddy ethics also make for a pleasing contrast with standard issue wham-bammery.
I like wham-bammery.
Yeah, standard issue wham-bammery. And then 2 rotten. Amy Nicholson. Greengrass comes full circle from the War on Terror film that bit its tongue to the popcorn flick that speaks volumes. That made no sense.
Yeah, that really doesn't make too much sense there. I mean, okay.
Toby Young. Unsuspecting punters may think, well, I've seen the first 2, so I might as well find out how the story ends. But if so, they're going to be disappointed. That's funny.
That sounds like me.
So the consensus: The Bourne Ultimatum is an intelligent, finely tuned, non-stop thrill ride. Another strong performance from Matt Damon and sharp camera work from Paul Greengrass makes this the finest installment of the Bourne trilogy. Sure,
okay. Out of the first 3, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Because it was a trilogy, and then they were like, oh, nope, we're not done. Just kidding.
Nope, we're just gonna add, 2 more. Sounds like Terminator.
Yep. So the income, the budget was $110 million. It made double that in the U.S., $227,471,070. The international was $215,353,068 international. And so worldwide it was $442,824,138. And its opening weekend it made $69,283,690. It's number 140 on the all-time domestic rank. And its highest all-time rank was 59, October 25th of 2007, which is not long after it came out.
Yeah.
It won 3 Oscars and 26 other wins. A lot of its wins, including its Oscars, were in the editing and the sound editing. So the 3 Oscars, 2 of them were in film editing, well, film editing, and then sound editing, and then sound mixing, where it's 3 Oscars. And then BAFTA, best editing, best sound. That's what a lot of them are. And then a lot of them also got good stunt performances. It's literally most of the movie, or most of the awards. There's a couple best film, the Crime Thriller Awards in the UK, and the Empire Awards in the UK. It won best film. The Golden Trailer Awards, best action TV spot. Best original score for an action adventure film. Seeing as how there was like one song, congratulations, you did a great job in your one song. London Critics Circle Film Awards won British Director of the Year. People's Choice Awards, favorite action film. More stunt awards. Best work in a vehicle from the stunt awards. So, lots of good stunts.
Yeah, I can see that. There was a lot of stunts and a lot of fighting and all of that.
Yeah. So, what'd you think?
I honestly did not like this movie, like, at all. So I watched the trilogy, and to me, it just feels like the same plot 3 times. This one gave, like, a little bit ending, but not much. So I honestly didn't like it.
It's just one plot stretched out over 3 movies.
Literally. That's how I feel about it.
I mean, if you scrunch them all into the one movie, then it's the same length as Gangs of Wasseyburg, I think.
I was going to go about that, actually. So, yeah, I didn't like it that much, but, again, sometimes these action films, they just feel like it just drags on a little.
It's wham-bammery.
Wham-bammery, exactly.
I liked it. It was decent.
It was decent.
Watch it for nap time.
I'm not gonna watch this again.
It's a nap time movie.
Noise to put you to sleep, I guess.
So that all you got?
Yeah.
Alright.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
Alright, that was your warning. If you haven't watched the film yet, then go ahead and go watch it and come back here. So we start off pretty much where the first one, like right around the end of the first one. Get like a little bitty recap type thing.
You mean the second one?
Yep, second one.
Yeah. Second
Wrong
one.
number.
That's all good. They blur together. It's pretty much the same thing anyways.
Yep.
It says in Moscow, Russia. And I know I wrote down that he had a flashback of how he got started, because like all throughout the three films, he has these little flashbacks because he can't remember anything.
Yeah.
So these flashbacks come back to him, little blurps of what happened in his past.
Mm-hmm. And in the present, he's like taking care of his wounds, because in the end of the second one, he got shot at and got hit. So he's taking care of his bullet wounds. And he kind of gets caught, but then he gets away, which he does quite a bit in the movie.
All three.
Yeah. So then 6 weeks later, they're at the CIA. They're listening to a tape that he got, a confession of somebody from the second movie. They're listening to that confession tape, and they're saying that Bourne is after the CIA.
I swear, the CIA is the most paranoid people in the world. They always think that this guy is after them, but it's, like, really not.
That's their job. That's why they use all the recording devices to record everybody.
I mean, that's true.
They're more paranoid than the paranoid people.
Super paranoid. I mean, come on.
That's okay. Be paranoid. I don't care. Whatever. So then it jumps to Italy, and there's these two guys talking about Jason Bourne, and they have, like, a file on him. And then we jump to France.
Paris, yeah.
And Bourne is in Maria's
brother's apartment, I think. It took a while to figure out who the hell that person was.
Yeah, but he finally said it. And he is telling Maria's brother that she's dead.
And how she died.
Yep. And he's blaming it on Bourne. And Bourne's like, yeah, I know it was my fault.
Because she got shot.
Yep. In the second movie, if you didn't know.
Yeah, she got shot.
In the head.
And she was driving.
No.
Both of them.
I thought he was driving.
That's how it veered off into...
I was half-ass paying attention
I
to the
half
second
remember
one.
this. So it was a sniper, shot her, and she was driving, and then it veered off of this bridge, and they both fell into the water.
Yeah.
In the Jeep.
Yeah. And
So that's how she died.
And Bourne wants revenge. He said he's going to stop whoever started this. And then we jump to England, London, and there's a guy, one of the guys that was in Italy, is talking on the phone to somebody about Operation Blackbriar. And then we see the CIA is tracking that call because they mentioned Blackbriar.
Yeah. Which is supposed to be top secret, I guess.
Yep. And the man that they are tracking because he knows about Blackbriar is Simon Ross, who is a reporter for the Gauntlet or something like that.
I don't know.
Something with the G.
Something
Guardian. Gauntlet.
I think that's what it is, Guardian.
One of them two.
I think Guardian. Makes sense.
Then we see Bourne, and there's a few more flashbacks, and he has some flashbacks of Maria and the original flashbacks that we saw at the beginning of this film. And then...
No, he's reading on a train, too, about himself, because Ross wrote about him.
Yeah. And then... the CIA activates... Well, no. I don't know.
So, because Bourne's like, okay, why is this guy writing about me? So he sometimes gets a hold of Ross, and he calls him, and he tells him to meet him. Then there's a guy, someone else called in, the CIA called in this other guy to help track Ross, and they're just following this guy.
He activates the asset, which is basically, that's the same position that Bourne has.
Yeah, this is like an assassin. So they don't call it assassin, it's an asset.
They call it asset.
Yeah, asset. And I just gotta say this, all throughout all three films, these people, they're trying to follow somebody, they're really obvious about it. I mean, if you're trying to be, like, secret about it, they're not good at it at all.
Well, they can't turn invisible.
Well, I'm just saying, they're really obvious.
Yeah.
But that's me.
So then, Bourne gets a hold of Simon and is, like, talking to him because he wants to talk to Simon because Simon wrote a story about him. And so Bourne thinks that Simon knows more than he knows about Blackbriar and all that. And so he's, like, leading him through Waterloo, which is, like, the big, huge train station.
Yes.
And the CIA are chasing them through Waterloo. And then the asset is, like, hiding in this sign that changes.
Yeah, it goes, like...
It, like, turns, and it has, like, 3 or 4 sides.
Yeah.
And it keeps turning. And, Simon's hiding in a door, and Bourne is out in the crowd. The asset has orders to kill both of them. And Bourne is telling Simon to stay in the little room he's in, but Simon's like, no, I have a clear shot, I'm going. And he books it out, and he gets shot.
In the crowd full of people.
Yeah. And then Bourne takes off. And then the asset takes off.
He's off fighting people and everything. I mean, like, there's a bunch of fighting going on, too.
Yeah.
He chases the asset, too.
Yeah. And the CIA thinks that Bourne is Simon's source. That's why they want Bourne dead, too, besides just Simon, is because they think that Bourne is helping Simon.
Yep, so, and then Bourne does some research because he gets this, like notebook off of Ross after he was shot.
Yeah.
And he's doing this research because he's got all his names and things in there. The lady from the second film I know was brought in to help. Her name was Pam.
Yeah,
something.
Pam. And they're trying to narrow down who it is because they figured out it has to be somebody in the CIA that told Simon about Blackbriar. And so they're narrowing it down, and they narrowed it down to Neil Daniels.
Neil Daniels.
I didn't write down his first name, I just knew it started with an N. So they narrowed it down to him because they're fancy ways.
Yeah.
And then Bourne ends up, he makes his way to Daniel's office.
Yep.
To try and see what he can find. And he kills the people there.
And beating people up and fighting everybody.
Yep, and then Nikki Parsons from the second movie comes in.
And first.
Oh, was she in first?
Yes.
I missed that. I was halfway paying attention, so.
Same here. I just remember the actress, because it's Julia Stiles.
Oh. She looked familiar, but... So, she ends up on the phone with the CIA, and they ask her an ID challenge, and she has two different responses. She can respond one way, and it means that she's in distress, or she can respond another way, and it means everything is normal, and she lies and responds normal. And she tells Bourne, she hangs up, and then she tells Bourne that she knows where Daniels is. I don't remember.
What was she was telling him about Blackbriar, right? So, yeah, it's supposedly, like, Blackbriar is, like, because they mentioned another thing in the other films is, was it Treadstone?
Yeah.
It's pretty much, like...
Treadstone turned into Blackbriar.
Which is kind of like this Black Ops, like, thing where they pretty much can do what they want. No red tape whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So they can kill whoever they want.
Yep, go kill anybody, including Americans, even though the CIA is not supposed to kill Americans.
Yeah.
It's like their one rule.
Yep, but, you know...
Everybody breaks their rule.
Everybody breaks it, so...
Including Batman.
That's true. So, I know, Nikki they go to Monaco?
Yeah.
Tangier?
Yeah. Because that's where Daniels is, because she knows where he is. And the CIA also learns that Daniels is in Tangier. But Nikki kind of diverts him, or they call in an asset to take down Daniels, and Nikki diverts him to her.
To get a different phone.
Yeah, so that they can follow him to Daniels. But it doesn't really work. He ends up getting blown up.
Yep. Explosion.
And so the CIA, seeing that Nikki and Bourne are there, send the asset after Nikki and Bourne.
And the police are there too.
Yeah.
Like, and they're chasing Bourne throughout this. Like, it's a long chase scene.
Yeah, there's a long chase where the police are chasing Bourne and the asset is chasing Nikki.
It's a good... God, how long is this, like, chase scene? It's like a good 20 minutes.
So they get away. Bourne kills the asset
Yep.
that's in Tangier. And he is talking to Nikki, and he says that he wants to apologize for everything that he's done. Like, all the killings and everything.
Yeah.
And he tells Nikki that she's going to be on the run now because they're after her. The CIA is after her. Mm-hmm. So then you see her
dyeing her hair.
And then she cuts it, and then she gets on the bus and runs away.
And I mentioned this to Kat, too, that her dyeing her hair in the sink and then cutting it is the same thing that Marie did in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Same exact thing.
Yeah. And then,
it goes to New York, right?
Yep, goes to New York, and Bourne is talking to Pam, wondering why she's still after him, pretty much.
And this was also in the second film.
Yeah.
The very end of the second film. So they literally took parts of the end of the second film and stuck it, like, near, like 3/4 way of this one.
The way.
So the continue is...
Yeah.
It's not... yeah.
They just... the continuity is still there. They just inserted some stuff, some extra information in there, is basically what it was. So then Pam decides that she's going to go after Bourne, but she ends up being a diversion so Bourne can get into...
His name's Noah.
Noah. That's where I got Noah from.
Noah.
Into Noah's office, which is the deputy director of the CIA. And it's funny because to me, it looks like at one point when the CIA are following Pam, that she is on the same street as the beginning of Annie Hall when they're
Yeah, you did
when it's
say
like
that.
the Where's Waldo moment. It's like, it looks like the same street, just a different angle.
Yeah, she's like, that looks like from Annie Hall. I'm like, well, it does, actually.
Yeah. So, while they're all on that Annie Hall street, then Bourne is in Noah's office stealing files out of his safe. And then there's a huge car chase scene.
Literally.
And then, like, the end of the car chase, Bourne knows he's gonna crash, so he, like, tugs the seatbelt around his arm. I'm like, that's not gonna save you, but
No.
okay.
We have to remember this is a movie.
Yeah.
It's not really realistic most of the time.
Yeah. Then he gets out of the crash, pretty much just a couple scratches on him, and then the other guy that wrecked him is like, oh, I'm dying. But he's not really dying.
He's all bloody.
And Bourne's like holding the gun at him, but he doesn't shoot him, he just walks away. And then you see that Bourne is going to go after the man who made him into what he is.
Is this a Dr. Albert? I forgot what the last name was, like Hurst or something?
Yeah, something like that.
It's funny because this is played by Albert Finney, and I said, this is just lazy writing. You didn't even change his first name.
Whatever.
I was like, lazy!
And I guess Bourne's name is David Webb now.
Well, it used to be David Webb before he was Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
And Pam tells him that, actually.
Yeah, but it's just awkward because all of a sudden she's like calling him David. And like,
Yeah, and he's responding. It's like, you were called Jason Bourne for the longest time.
So I wrote, his name is David now? With a question mark. I was like, he just responds to it immediately?
Yeah, so she, Pam and Bourne, they meet up and he gives her the information he took from Noah's office.
Yep, and they're in a hospital and she's on the first floor, I think, sending the files out. My guess is to, like, news stations and FBI and, like, anybody and everybody that could take down the CIA.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Noah walks in on her and he sees her faxing the things out and she's like, you better get yourself a good lawyer.
Just walks away. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
that's smooth. That was smooth.
And then we got some more flashbacks when Dr.
Albert
is...
Let's call him that.
When Dr. Albert is talking to David Bourne.
He's explaining how that happened, how he got started.
How he wanted to be in it.
Yeah, because he had some dog tags and he handed them over. He's like,
Yep.
I want to help.
Yeah, so. And then he's like pointing the gun at the doctor and doesn't shoot him. He just runs away. And then the New York asset is back again. And the one that he should have shot in the car, but he didn't. So he's chasing him across the roof. And he stands there and he's like, they made you into this. Is this what you actually want to be? And blah-de-blah-de-blah.
Yeah.
And then he jumps off the roof right at the same time. The New York asset shoots at him. Yeah, as he's jumping off, he shoots at him.
Noah does.
Oh, I thought it was...
No. Noah had
It
come
looked
up
like-
on the roof.
I didn't see that. But
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was the one part that actually was paying attention.
I was paying attention, I just didn't see it.
Half out of it. But I remember that part.
Alright. And then there's like the news thing of the CIA is falling apart because of the information.
Yeah, Noah and Albert get arrested because they're the ones who really had this thing started in the first place. And
Yep.
was that the
And-
part that Pam's testimony?
Yeah, her
She's-
testimony. And then there's a news report that Jason Bourne was, like, there, but not there. Like, he was there and they didn't find the body. And I'm like, nobody dead.
Exactly. So,
The end!
the end, yay.
It was just a lot of action.
I was bored half the time. I'm
It's
honest.
just a lot of action.
Yeah.
If they had condensed the action a little bit, then I feel like it would have been a little bit better.
Can we talk about this music now?
How horrible it was that
This-
they played
okay.
the same song over and over and over and over and over.
The
and
music
over.
was literally, it was excessive. It
But
was
it's Moby,
That's the
the
end
bald
song.
guy.
That's the end song.
He probably performed the other one, too.
Probably. I don't know. But the song that they're doing, like, all throughout these fight things is pretty much the same song. And it's just trying to be, like, really intense, and it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's too much.
If they had done different music throughout the whole thing, like, even it being still intense, just different types of intense for the different types of scenes, then I feel like it would have been better.
Yeah. It was annoying me.
Yeah.
That was part of the reason why I don't like this very much.
It is kind of annoying that it's the same.
It was like it was just too long at some points too. It was like, okay, this entire scene does not need to have this much music and that intense. Dial it down a bit. It's people talking. That's it.
Yeah, I don't think during the talking scenes that it should have had that intense music, or it should have like built up after it.
I can see if you're like trying to build up to like a fight scene, yeah, that's fine. But when people are just talking in like a room trying to figure out where he is, that's a little excessive.
Yeah.
So that wasn't really, I didn't like that, so that's me.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying. And there's only the one piece that there was any information on. It's just the last song, the end credits song.
The end credits song. What song?
Extreme Ways, Bourne's Ultimatum, written, produced, and performed by Moby.
By Moby.
It's literally the only piece that there was actually any information on at all.
Yeah.
So, comparison. We did watch the first and second, and I'm kind of glad we did because we've been super lost.
Especially if we've not seen the second one.
Yeah, because the second one definitely plays a lot into the first one. And I feel like in order to understand the beginning of the second one, you needed to watch the first one. So this trilogy, like, really ties together.
I'll give it that. It does tie together pretty well.
And as far as I can tell, that was a good ending, so I do see why they ended it for 5 years. But I'm probably going to watch the next two. The Legacy or whatever. What's the next ones?
It's like...
One of them is Jason Bourne. The newest one is Jason Bourne. And the one before that is Legacy.
Like Bourne Legacy or something?
Yeah, I think so. I'll probably watch them eventually.
I won't. I definitely won't. But that's me. But the first one, I felt like... the first one came out in like the early 2000s, and it showed. It really
2002.
did.
Matt Damon looks like a baby.
He looks much younger than he does now, and I just felt like, I will admit, I felt like it got better as the trilogy went on.
Yeah, the acting got better.
Yes.
The action got better. The music did not. I feel like the story was the same. It was just one big, like we were saying earlier, it's just one big, huge thing. And I can understand why they made it a trilogy, because all 3 movies were less than 2 hours. So it made them a little bit more bearable for people who don't like action movies like that. But then it also made it kind of unbearable. Like, if I hadn't watched all 3 of these in the same day, I would have been irritated, because I would have wanted to know what was happening.
Meh. But
I like action.
Yeah, well, I like some action too, but it's gotta be, like, a bit purposeful.
That's purposeful. They were beating people up. That's what action's for.
Again, I feel like this is a little too excessive, but again, that's me. You may not agree.
CIA.
You may not agree with me, and that's completely okay. Try and teach my students that too. You don't have to like everything.
So, trivia.
Alright. I don't have too much trivia, but, so this is the only Bourne film to actually win an Academy Award. All the other ones have not been nominated, like, whatsoever. They weren't nominated.
Gotcha.
Yeah. In this one, Jason Bourne never smiles.
Yeah.
He never smiles in this one.
He almost does when he sees Nikki cutting and dyeing her hair and looking like Maria.
Almost.
Almost. You almost get a smile.
It almost got a smile, but... because it reminded him of Marie.
Yeah.
Alright. All 3 films have the same end song. It's called Extreme Waste by Moby, like Kat said. Yep. Except this one has it's like a remix of it.
Yeah, that's why this one, in the parentheses, it's Bourne's Ultimatum.
Bourne's Ultimatum, yep. And I think I got one more. Oh, yeah. So each film, there has to be at least one big explosion.
Okay, boom.
Yep.
I don't know. remember?
Each one of them. It's different for each one. Because this one, it was with the little bomb that he made.
Oh, yeah.
And the motorcycle.
Yeah, where he
Little
used the
scooter.
bag as a diversion. He, like, dropped the bag under this other car. And it was actually the scooter that had the bomb on it.
Yeah, and
that
then...
was the big explosion.
The other two, one was, like, involving, like, gas and a a toaster.
I must have missed that part because I was working on my research when I was watching that.
I forget which one. It's one of the other two films.
Because there was bits and pieces of the first ones that I missed because I was doing some other stuff while I was doing it. I was trying to make the most of my time.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was doing this morning, too. So, yeah, each of them has a big explosion. It's
Nice.
required.
I wonder if that's in the fourth and the fifth one.
Probably.
Probably.
Yep. I mean, there wasn't much trivia for this, so...
No. So, where it has been on the list before and where it is at as of today when we are recording. In 2010, it was at number 167. In 2012, number 182. In 2014, number 198. In 2016, number 222. And as of today, number 239. So it is dropping.
I'm okay with that.
And previously, number 233. In 2010, Letters from Iwo Jima in 2006. The 2012 list, Rain Man from 1988. The 2014 list, The Truman Show from 1998. In 2016, Groundhog Day from 1993. And as of today when we were looking at it, The Wizard of Oz, which is our next week's film from 1939.
Freaking love Wizard of Oz. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So, favorite line. I only wrote down 2.
Well, mine's like a conversation between two people. That's the one I wrote down.
Oh.
I think I'm gonna stick with that one too. It's between Pam and Noah, and they're like arguing. She's like, "If you go down this path, where does it end?" And he says, "When we win."
Oh.
And that kind of stuck with me a bit because that can be applied to a lot of different situations.
Literally anybody and everybody take the wrong path for something, and they're just gonna stick to it till they win.
Yeah,
Either win, lose, or die.
exactly.
And typically, losing and dying are the same thing in this type of movie.
In action films, yeah.
My 2, one, the I guess head of the CIA guy said this. I think it was him. It may have been Noah, the deputy director. I don't remember which one. It's hope for the best, plan for the worst. And then my other one was Pam at the end. Better get yourself a good lawyer. Those are my...
I like the hope for the best one.
Hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Yeah, I like that one.
Alright.
It's a good line.
So, our rating. Let me pull up IMDb so I can put mine in.
So I'll say mine first while she's doing that. So I'd be nice. I raised mine a little bit.
Oh, did you?
I did. So I'm giving it a 3. 1, because it literally was like the same story 3 times over, and I was sick of seeing the same story over and over again. It was the action and the acting got better, okay? And the reason why I gave it a 3 instead of a 2, like I was previously going to, is because of Albert Finney. Albert Finney is a great actor, and he plays Albert in this, so that's why I raised it just a little bit. So
Just a little bit.
I gave it a 3, and I probably won't ever watch these again. So that's me.
I'm gonna give it a 5 because it was entertaining, but it wasn't the best thing I've ever seen. It's entertaining enough to make me watch. I'm gonna eventually watch the 4th and the 5th one. I mean, it was a lot of action, but I'm okay with that. I watch a lot of action movies anyways. And half of them don't make any sense anyway. So, we did our rating. So, next film is The Wizard of Oz.
Yes! Oh my god, yes.
She's been waiting.
I've been waiting for this film.
You get 2 of your... We have 3 of our favorites in this first 25 movies.
Yes! This is
We
my
have
absolute
2
favorite.
of yours. We have The Wizard of Oz
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast. And then mine, Wizard of Oz and The Help.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
3 movies from the 2 of us in the top, or in the top 250 so far.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. It's going to be good. Hopefully we can contain it.
Hopefully.
Because it's... I don't want to make the episode longer than the movie.
That's our goal then.
Yep. Alright, so premium episodes. So we are starting premium with this episode here, so that will include... so if you pay for premium, you will get uncut episodes, early release of the episodes, which they'll come out on Monday instead of Friday, and then also you'll get a special monthly episode once every month. We'll put something out, like our ideas. For next month, for this month, for September, we picked 4 of our least favorite movies, the ones we don't ever want to watch again. Nice. And you vote on either Facebook or Twitter to make us watch one of them, and we'll review it in a little 30 to 45 minute episode there for you.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of dreading that, but I just hope it's not one of mine. Yeah. I'm kind of voting for Kat's least favorites at this point.
Yeah. And that is at $1 a month, and then for $5 a month, you will get all of those, plus be able to be in your choice of a movie for every 50 movies. As long as, like, you get there in time.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get there in time. But you'll get to join us for up to 5 movies if you pay $5 a month. And, like I said, our first special episode for this month of September will be based on your votes. The choices for the movies that one of us hates are Frozen, The Love Guru, It the Original, and Howard the Duck. So make sure you vote on Twitter or Facebook for that. And then we're still running our contest. One person out of every 10 that leaves a positive written review will be randomly selected to join us for a movie of their choice. So get to leaving reviews.
Yes, they help us, so please.
Yes. And where to find us?
So you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Cat and Jess Talk the Best. Our email is catandjesstalkthebest250@gmail, and our website is catandjesstalkthebest.podbean.com.
Yep, and you can find the show pretty much everywhere now. Actually, yeah everywhere.
Pretty much.
iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, and also every episode forever will be on Podbean. So if you ever feel like you want to go back and listen to the first one and we're on like number 198, you can just
go back and listen.
Back to Podbean and listen. And our opening music is by Audio Binger. So any music we ever have is by him. You can find him Facebook, YouTube, and he has a website, audiobinger.net.
Yeah, check him out.
Yeah. And that's all we got.
Yep. So thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. She has a porg.
I do have a porg. He's so cute.